Hey everyone, welcome back to Genai Game News. And we are kicking things off today with a story that has the entire Soulsborne community losing their minds, in the best way possible. Bloodborne, From Software and Sony's beloved gothic horror masterpiece, is officially getting an animated feature film adaptation, and it is rated R. That's right, no watering it down, no sanitizing the beast blood. As reported by both Eurogamer and PC Gamer, the film was announced by Sony Pictures at CinemaCon, the major industry trade show happening in Las Vegas. And here's the twist that nobody saw coming. The project is being co-produced by none other than Irish YouTube megastar JackSepticEye. Yes, the guy famous for his energetic Let's Plays is stepping into the role of film producer, and honestly, given how passionate the gaming community is about this IP, having a creator who genuinely loves games involved feels like a great sign. GameSpot notes that this announcement comes after more than 11 years of fans begging for literally anything new related to Bloodborne. Remakes have been widely rumored and repeatedly shot down, and a PC port. Well, let's just say fans have been waiting a very long time for that too. So while it's not the PC port the community has been dreaming of, an R-rated animated film is a genuinely exciting development. No release date has been confirmed yet, but the fact that it was announced at CinemaCon suggests Sony is treating this seriously. We will absolutely keep you updated as more details drop. Alright, moving on to some big Xbox news that is sending shockwaves through the gaming world. According to reports covered by Eurogamer, PC Gamer, and GameSpot, Xbox's brand new CEO Asha Sharma has reportedly acknowledged in what appears to be a leaked internal memo that, and I'm quoting the sentiment here, Game Pass has become too expensive for players, and Microsoft needs to find a better value equation. Now, this is a pretty remarkable admission. Game Pass has seen multiple price increases over the past few years, and Microsoft has been pushing it hard as the centerpiece of Xbox's strategy. So to have the new CEO openly acknowledging that the pricing has gotten out of hand, that's significant. GameSpot reports that Sharma has promised changes are coming, with plans to evolve Game Pass into a more flexible system over time, though she noted that will take time to properly test and roll out. This also isn't completely out of left field. PC Gamer points out that back in March, there were already reports suggesting Sharma might look to make Game Pass more affordable. So this feels like confirmation that the direction is changing. What exactly a more flexible Game Pass looks like, whether that means cheaper tiers, different content bundles, or something else entirely, remains to be seen. But if you've been holding off on subscribing because of the price, it sounds like Microsoft is at least hearing you. We'll be watching this one closely. Here's a story for all the strategy and tabletop fans in the audience, and it's a good one. As reported by both Eurogamer and GameSpot, Games Workshop and publisher SNEG have just launched something called the Warhammer Classics label on Steam, and it is a treasure trove of retro gaming goodness. More than 20 Warhammer titles have arrived on Steam as part of this collection. Games that either never made it to the platform before or were delisted and became incredibly difficult to track down legally. We're talking games spanning the last 30 years of Warhammer video game history, covering both the classic fantasy setting and the grimdark Warhammer 40,000 universe. GameSpot notes that these games have been brought back in their original states, preserved in what SNEG is calling an accessible, future-proofed form. Eurogamer specifically highlights one particularly exciting inclusion, a cult classic title that was previously devilishly difficult to get working on modern hardware and is reportedly well-suited for play on the Steam Deck. The collection is currently available with a limited-time discount as part of an ongoing Steam event. So if you're a Warhammer veteran with some nostalgia to scratch, or a newer fan curious about where it all came from, this is a fantastic opportunity to dive into gaming history without having to hunt down old discs or jump through emulation hoops. For the Emperor. In entertainment crossover news, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is absolutely dominating at the box office. According to GameSpot, the film has now pulled in over $628 million worldwide, making it Hollywood's biggest movie of 2026 so far. That number breaks down to over $308 million from North American theaters alone, with the remaining $320 million coming from international markets. For context, GameSpot notes that the film has surpassed Project Hail Mary, which is itself a massive hit, having crossed $500 million globally, to claim that top spot for the year. The only film currently sitting higher globally is the Chinese production Pegasus 3, which sits outside the traditional Hollywood box office tracking. This is yet another demonstration that video game adaptations, when handled with care and quality, can absolutely dominate at the cinema. After the massive success of the first Mario movie back in 2023, Nintendo and the filmmakers clearly had the wind at their backs on this one. Gaming fans showing up for these adaptations in huge numbers is sending a very clear message to Hollywood. And it seems like the industry is listening, which might explain why we're also getting things like that Bloodborne film we just talked about. The gaming IP boom in Hollywood is very much real, and it is showing no signs of slowing down. Remember those Rockstar hackers who caused a massive stir a while back? Well, PC Gamer is reporting that they have now publicly released the data they stole, and the reaction from the community has been underwhelming, to say the least. According to PC Gamer's coverage, the released material is interesting in the way that behind-the-scenes development content usually is, but it's far from the explosive bombshell that might have justified the criminal activity involved in obtaining it. In fact, PC Gamer's framing is pretty pointed. The headline essentially suggests that by releasing this data, the hackers have accidentally proven that Rockstar was absolutely right not to pay them a single penny in ransom. The data just isn't that revelatory. This is a pretty common outcome in high-profile hacking cases involving game studios. The people committing these acts often promise earth-shattering revelations to maximize their leverage, but when the material finally surfaces, it rarely lives up to the hype. It also serves as a good reminder that paying ransoms in these situations rarely ends well. Either you pay and encourage more attacks, or you don't pay and the data eventually comes out anyway. Rockstar appears to have taken the right stance here, and the lackluster public reaction to the leak seems to be validating that decision. Not the dramatic conclusion some were expecting, but definitely an interesting one. In sad news for fans of classic World of Warcraft, GameSpot is reporting that Blizzard has successfully shut down one of the most beloved WoW private servers in existence, Turtle WoW. For those unfamiliar, Turtle WoW was a fan-run server recreating the 2006-era World of Warcraft experience, complete with multiple fan-made expansions and tons of additional custom content built by the community over the years. It was remarkably ambitious and had an incredibly dedicated player base. But according to GameSpot, Blizzard sued the server's creators last August for copyright infringement. A judge ruled in Blizzard's favor, and the two parties have now reached a confidential settlement, the end result of which is a cease and desist order against Turtle WoW. This is always a bittersweet situation. On one hand, from a legal standpoint, Blizzard has a clear right to protect its intellectual property. On the other hand, private servers like Turtle WoW often exist because they're providing something the official game no longer offers. In this case, a curated, community-driven classic experience with genuinely new content. The fan effort that went into building something like that is extraordinary. It's a reminder of just how passionate gaming communities can be and how complicated the relationship between game publishers and their most dedicated fans sometimes gets. Our thoughts go out to everyone who poured their time and love into that server. And finally, let's close things out on the most wholesome story of the day, possibly the most wholesome story of the entire year. PC Gamer has reported on a 91-year-old gamer who missed her daily check-in call, prompting a concerned welfare visit from local police. And the reason she missed that call? She was in the middle of trying to beat her personal record level in a game and simply did not want to stop. I mean, honestly, that's legendary. That is the kind of dedication and passion for gaming that we should all aspire to at 91. The police reportedly showed up, found her completely safe and sound, and I imagine a little bit startled to be interrupted mid-run. No word on whether she actually beat her record, but I think we're all rooting for her. This story is a beautiful reminder that gaming truly is for everyone, at every age. There's something genuinely wonderful about a 91-year-old being so absorbed in a game that the outside world just fades away. That's what great games do. That's why we're all here. And that's a wrap on today's Genai Game news. We covered a whole lot today, from Bloodborne finally getting the movie treatment it deserves, to Game Pass potentially getting cheaper, to Warhammer Classics making a comeback on Steam. If you enjoyed the show, please hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially about that Bloodborne movie, because I know you have opinions. I'll catch you in the next one.